I mean, certainly there are representative artists in all the fields who did blossom in later life. Um, I think the ability to express oneself artistically, again, it might be a worry and a question about social stereotyping. You know, people might assume that people as they get older are going to decline in their capacity to be creatively expressive. So, I mean, just if you talk to older actors about the you know the ability to get roles in acting as an older actor, you know, I think they would see that as greatly declining opportunity because our society has sort of been biased against, you know, the older person in media, in the arts. There's a worry about being able to continue creative expression depending on the field that you're in. But having said that, you know, with aging comes great life experience, and you know, there's a lot of interest in what happens to brain function as people get older, and a lot of worry about loss of memory and dementia. But there's real, you know, there's real data that wisdom is something that is accrued with life experience, and so there's that whole field of experience and wisdom, which would kind of feed into creativity and the older person being able to, you know, manifest their life's experience and their wisdom. So I certainly like to believe that one's ability to be creative and to grow. I mean, I think growing in new directions is kind of a hallmark of successful aging. So some of the, you know, historically interesting figures who really aged well took up new forms of creative expression as they got older, like Grandma Moses, you know, the artist, or it's said that Albert Einstein, I believe, took up playing the violin in late life. And so exploring new routes of creativity is one of the hallmarks of people who age well. You know, one of the most effective ways of keeping your brain function as you get older is to stay healthy in general. We know that, for instance, all of the risk factors that you hear about for heart disease, for instance, high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, you know, having an inactive lifestyle, all of those things that put you at risk in other realms of health are also risk factors for brain disease and Alzheimer's disease. So you know, staying healthy, it's all the things that you kind of wish weren't the things you had to do because they're not the easy things to do. You know, we all want to be able to pop a pill and that's going to preserve our memory, but it's really, you know, eating a healthy diet, staying physically active. I mean, if I had to say the one thing that people really should try to do beginning in early life that will have huge payback, you know, as they get older, is creating habits of physical activity. You know, being an active person. I mean, that's just, I call it the real fountain of youth. It really is. I mean, exercise has been shown to prevent many diseases that are associated with aging, and it's also been shown to really maintain brain function as well. So, you know, eating a healthy diet, staying physically active, continuing to be mentally and socially engaged, continuing to be involved in whatever is your passion, you know, to really be engaged with life. Those have all been shown to really promote preserved brain function. We still don't know what causes Alzheimer's disease, and that is just a subject of a huge amount of research going on. So of course it's true that brilliant people get Alzheimer's disease, and you know, it's a very tragic disease. But if you look at, you know, the whole population, if people pursued healthier lifestyles, that would be a big plus in terms of preserving brain function across the population. There's just reams of research data that prove that point. that physical activity is, as I said, it plays out as preventing many diseases. It's a strong predictor of mortality. If you look at, and this has been shown in numerous research studies, if you look at people's exercise capacity, how able they are to be vigorously active, it's a very strong predictor of how long you live. And for each increment up on the scale you are of physical activity, the longer you would be. I mean, it would predict for your length of life. The good news is that you don't have to be a marathon runner. I mean, if you're because people get discouraged. They're like, well, I've been a couch potato all my life. But if you even go from like the lowest quartile of physical activity to the second to the lowest quartile, you really improve your health status. And as I said, just a broad range of diseases, whether it's hypertension, heart disease, colon cancer, depression, diabetes. I mean, I could read a long list, but all of those things are reduced in incidence in people that are physically active. So, and that's the tragedy too of what we're seeing now. I mean, I really look at young people now, even kids. I mean, as a geriatrician, I'm really coming to see more and more that everything begins in early life. So, the fact that kids now aren't active, they're not going out to ride their bikes and explore the neighborhood. They're sitting at home, behind their computers. Which, I mean, there's some benefit there too. I think that modern day access to information is just remarkable. But kids not being physically active, recess being done away with at schools, and the rate of childhood obesity is just terribly frightening. It's considered one of the leading public health issues in this country is the rate of childhood obesity, because that is just going to play out into, adults being obese. That's already a huge number. And it's said that now this next generation, as the baby boomers move into the elderly age group, it might start to be true that people live less long than their parents, and that's going to be because obesity, which really a big part of it is that obesity leading to type 2 diabetes and all of the problems with diabetes and premature death. So it's really scary. So I kind of I really applaud all the efforts that are going on now to try to turn that around, to reduce obesity, to get kids to be more active. I think that's really going to be a key to what we're seeing down the line in terms of the elderly.